we can't beat. So proud of a lot of those things. Offensively, getting much better on third down, especially in the first half, being 5 of 6 in the red zone. There's some really good things there to work with defensively to start the game with the turnover right off the bat, get the ball back and give us a chance to go at 14-0. I thought was a huge point in the game. And to see them get better at stopping the run, that's good. That's all real progress. Now, when we talk about turnovers in totality, we know it's going to be a big part of our season. It's been a big point of emphasis, and we're still in the hole. And you're not going to win heavyweight matches very often when you lose a turnover battle. So we understand the importance of protecting the ball on offense as well as taking it away as many opportunities as we can on defense. So also looking back at that film in the second half, the second 30-minute block, we were our worst enemy. Again, and we know it's always going to be about us, but it was very clear in the film that we made mistakes. We committed penalties that just put us in tough situations. So no surprises there, but it was very evident that we weren't playing the same way with the same focus that we were in that first half. Now, this week, we have another opportunity to play a team from right here in Houston, bringing Texas Southern to campus. It's the first time in Rice history that we've had back-to-back games against people from the city of Houston, so it's a big deal for this town. Clarence McKinney bringing his team over here. I know he's going to have them ready to go. I've told our guys that as you look at that film with them playing Toledo last week, that's not the team we're going to see. We're going to see a team that's incredibly fired up to be playing in Rice Stadium in Houston, Texas, and every one of them believes they should be sitting in these team meeting room chairs. They believe they're good enough and should have had the opportunity that our players have, and they're going to try to prove it. And the fact of the matter is several of those guys have been on FBS rosters before, and frankly, some of them are good enough to be on a team like this. So we're going to have to worry about the things that matter, our preparation, our process, and worrying about the Rice Owls and preparing to play this game this week. So with that, I'll open up for any questions.
Coach, just talk, it's such a big win, getting the value bucket, and obviously you're showing it off, well-deserved. Just what does that mean for the program to get a win over the U of H?
It put a lot of cool stuff on display. It put on display the mindset that we have, the ability to finish, the love for each other that we played with, the celebrations. Like you watch every time one of our guys did something to affect the game, the way our team celebrated it together. So those things were very evident. And quite frankly, that's that Rice stuff, finding a way to win, offense, getting the ball in overtime, going and scoring, special teams, kicking the extra point, defense, again, fighting, and then offense, putting the ball in the box again, getting the 2-point conversion. And defense goes out there, and with the game on the line, it was down to one play. And we had a chance to end it, and we did. And, that's the same route that JoJo had thrown on them earlier in the game that they had success with. The receiver, it was a good throw. It was right there. JoJo just wasn't going to let it happen. He just raked the ball out and created an epic party on the field.
Can you talk about Dean Connors and what he means to the offense? It seems like he's really involved.
He is very involved. And you know what? Here's what I would tell you. It's kind of like what I said about JT post-game. Sure, this is a good day. This is a good performance, but it's nowhere near the best we're going to see from JT. And I feel the exact same way about Dean. There's definitely ways he affected that game and helped our offense, but there's also things that he missed that were uncharacteristic. And when we get him seeing things the right way and hitting things with the right tempo, I think you're really going to see a back that can explode in this conference.
Okay, final question for me. You touched on TSU, and they should be playing a lot better, but is it tough to get the players to focus, playing a team that got beat by 68 points the week prior?
I don't think so. I just think right now, and I told our coaches this, I was like, man, look, we have their attention. I need you to coach them harder than we ever have. I need you to get the most growth we can get out of them. Because again, it's not just about this week. We have goals for the entire season, but the more than that, how much better can we have a better Tuesday practice today than we had last Tuesday? That's the growth I want to see. I want to see how we can grow together and just, again, become a better version of ourselves day by day. And when we live that way and we talk that way, I really don't think who you play is that important. We're going to study the schemes. We're going to know what to do and what to expect. But the reality is, you're only promised 12 opportunities on Saturday. And we work 350 days a year or whatever it ends up being for these opportunities. They're also precious.
Mike, JT was the American Offensive Player of the Week, which is great individual honor for him, but is this something you point to the team and goes, guys, because the line gave him the time to make the throws, receivers were in the right spots, the back, it may be an individual award, but it's one the whole team earned.
Yeah, and I think JT would probably be the first one to tell you that. It is awesome when you become this great conference that we just jumped into, right? When you talk about the American Conference and the Offensive Player of the Week, that's cool stuff. I thought it was also awesome to see him on the Davey O'Brien list and to know that, he's going to now be on the midseason watch list for that award. And that's all stuff that's earned. But I don't think JT would ever tell you that he's doing it alone. I think if you need any more proof of that, look at how difficult his job was against Texas when we couldn't keep people off of him and couldn't get open. So, again, we know it takes an offensive unit, 11 people doing their jobs, and when they do it, we got a quarterback that can certainly make all those throws, and that's awesome.
You were talking about goals that y'all have for the rest of the season. I know y'all have talked about the American and how excited y'all for year one. Now that you're halfway through, you only have 2 non-conference, opportunities yet to get ready. Does that kind of, amp up the pressure a little bit that you got to get things going so you're ready for week 1 of the American?
I don't know, Matt. I live amped anyway. I don't know. I think the pressure is just on ourselves for today, for this Tuesday, day by day, play by play, and let's go. And if we will keep growing at the rate we are growing right now, we're going to be a hard team to deal with no matter who we play.
And Texas Southern, familiar with them, played them at Rice Stadium not too long ago. Maybe got that same quarterback back, a couple guys. What can you say that might give y'all trouble you have to watch out for?
Yeah, I think that's something I talked to the team about yesterday. And there's a handful of guys on our team that played against them last time. And that was an offense that stepped up and did some really good things. I pulled the numbers actually. So, number one, we won the game 48-34, right? But they scored 34 points on our defense. And you never felt like the game was out of reach, right? In the fourth quarter, we had all of our ones in there trying to get a stop, trying to make a play. And they rushed for over 100 yards. They had 357 yards passing, I believe. And, that's just again, that they came in here and they weren't scared. They were fighting us tooth and nail. They wanted to win that game bad. And I know we're going to get the same look from those guys. And that's why, again, for anybody to ever talk about, yeah, we're going to focus on the American. We're not. We're going to focus on Texas Southern, and we're going to focus on the Rice Owls. Texas Southern schemes are growth, and that's all we can worry about.
Coach, can you talk about some of the things that you might have learned, maybe you already knew, about your team before the Houston game and then after the Houston game? And then Andrew Body is the quarterback at Texas Southern. He was a guy who really had a good game against you the first time. Can you talk about him as well?
Yeah, so talking about our team, I guess I learned that we could be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and still come back and finish. Because, again, the good was really, really good. And I didn't expect the bad to go the way that it did. I thought we'd be able to stem the tide. I think I said this in the postgame presser, but Dan Gritty, our analytics guy, came to me in the third quarter after they had the long drive to open the third quarter and got no points. And he's like, they have a 1.1% chance of winning. I was like, okay, tell me when it's 0, and the reality is this, I knew we needed to make a play. And then we start making a play as the third quarter is ending and we put the ball on the ground. And so the only way we could lose that game is if they scored on every drive and we gave the ball to them. And so when we did that, it was one of those things that was frustrating. But the thing that I never saw is I never saw the panic. I never saw finger pointing. And I promise I didn't. I think I said this, but from Wednesday on, I knew we were going to win this game. I didn't know how, but I knew we were. And so nobody panicked. They tied the game up. I thought we were going to block the extra point and walk off the field that way. I was like, that'll be great. And then we took the knee going to overtime, and we just kept scoring. And again, I look back, and although I wish we had played better in that second half, I'm thankful for that overtime. I'm thankful for us to go out there in our short yards and goal line unit and move a Big 12 team all over the field and move them and get Dalen in the end zone twice and then get a 2-point conversion when everything's on the line. So, and for JoJo making that play, because again, sometimes no matter how much you talk about it, that new Rice stuff's not real until you live it, until you make it true. And now we have those experiences to always fall back on.
You talked a lot the run-up into the season about Sean Fresh and the growth he had in the spring, the growth he had in fall camp. You've had a lot of guys have good springs and good falls, but led the team in pass breakups this past weekend against that offense. Has he kind of delivered on all your expectations?
He has. And, when you go through coaching, like, I mean, Matt, I don't love change, right? Like that's not my jam. But when you go through coaching changes and you make some moves and things like that, and you bring in a guy like Jeremy Modkins with all his experience and just the way he commands that room, the growth that Sean has had under Jeremy and the pressure that Jeremy applies has been awesome to watch. Like Sean is playing his best football and it's not close.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about your special teams? They have a different kind of flair to them this year.
They're special, right? Yeah, I mean, that's what they're supposed to be. So, yeah, I mean, I think Coach Alamar's just done such a tremendous job, and I knew he would. But it's awesome when you watch him build this thing through the spring, through fall camp, and the way he gets the buy-in from everybody involved. Our punt team's been really good at protecting the punter, and you look at our kickoff coverage right now, and either the kicker's kicking it through the back of the end zone or we're attacking people at the 15-yard line, and that's guys like Max Ahoya running down there. He was our special teams player of the week, had a huge hit on that. I mean, he is running down the field like his hair's on fire. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes. And you got everybody doing their job and then a big play right there. And so, again, they have been special. They have done their job. Sometimes I guess it's good when special teams goes unnoticed. But when you can win games and have a field position advantage, and especially against Power 5 opponents, I'd say that's a pretty good thing.
Coach Will Kunkel here. First of all, nice to meet you, new to town. Nate's running mate here over at Fox.
Okay.
What's your message to the city as to why they need to come out and support you guys now that you get this wind under your belt and your fans and students as well?
Yeah, well, first off, I would tell our students that was the best support we've ever had since I've been here. And we couldn't thank them enough for having that student section rocking and making it a home atmosphere. So when you talk to the city of Houston, like, what else do you want? Like, this is right here. You can go eat dinner in Rice Village or go eat lunch in Rice Village, come over to a game, watch a really good product on the field with a lot of great, talented football players. Like, I don't know what else you want. We got a good game day set up for them. And I don't know. If you're a sports fan, it's amazing. If you're a foodie, it's great. Come on. I mean, they got beer and stages set up before the game. I don't know. Like, if I wasn't coaching, I'd be here in a different capacity. Yeah. All the players of the week. Well, we would have had JT as a player of the week, but since he won the conference honor, we took him off. So we got Luke McCaffrey as an offensive player of the week and Braden Nutter. On defense, we had Coleman Coco as the defensive player of the week. And as I already mentioned, Max Ahoya was our special teams player of the week. And today I've got one of our co-offensive players of the week and Braden Nutter with us, as well as the aforementioned Sean Fresh. So thank y'all for coming out. Have a great day. You got it.
How are you?
Braden, being from Tomball, right?
Yes, sir.
So University of Houston, you're familiar with it. The bucket is right here. How does it feel to have the bucket here and knowing that since you grew up watching University of Houston and Rice, you were part of a big win?
I mean, for me, it was pretty big for me. Big for the team, big for the O-line, big for everyone, just the improvement we've all had. But growing up, just wanting to go to UH, wanting to visit UH, and just trying to be on the campus and see everything. It's good to finally be somewhere else, build something somewhere else, and not just go and bandwagon. So, yeah, it was very good.
And then what about for you personally, your journey to get here and to be on the field and get to celebrate that?
Yeah, personally, taking a hiatus from last season, it's finally great to finally be back and be the same player I was. First game, I felt like I resorted back to my freshman year tendencies. So this game, I'm glad that I was able to hone in my craft with the whole line and we're able to connect and get things done.
And then obviously the defense got the last snap on the field, but the offense in overtime, I think one incomplete pass, good protection, a couple of short yardage wins. Could you ask for anything more?
No, I think the amount of short yardage we ran, although painful, is very fun. It was very fun to be that brutal against them. So I'm glad that we were able to do it to finish the game.
And what can you say about Dalen? Honorable mention for the Doak Walker Award, and what's it like?
it's fun to block for him. Before he came here, I was just, oh, he's a big name. But actually, like, knowing his IQ and seeing his IQ on a day-to-day basis, it makes all of us feel more confident in our preparation and want us to actually make a difference in the way we communicate to him. So.
Braden Wilkunkel, nice to meet you. Coach Holgerson over there keeps saying that they underrated you guys, that they just didn't, think you guys were that good. It's kind of the way he's saying it. Do you guys feel like you're the underdogs coming into the AAC this year and playing that card all year long, that you're being disrespected?
No, sir. I think that, you can put disrespect on any name, but till you line up, it's man versus man, and we're going to beat every single person that lines up. So I don't think we're an underdog. They can see it as what they want, but.
Talked about that running game through 2 games. You look up the counting stats, and y'all are near the bottom of the country in total rushing yards that y'all been able to produce. You think that changes this week? Have you kind of looked at the film, seen anything y'all can do better on that front?
Yeah, we already started this week, Monday, with a way better practice than we did last week. And for us not having the run game that we should have had, this week's going to be big emphasis on making sure that we hone in on our actual technique for the actual run game and not just relying on third down long passes. So.
And then, talked about, I guess, for years now, the theory of, if everybody's going to stack the box, you need a quarterback that can beat you. How much of, with the lack of the running game, producing was, okay, well, we can just turn it to JT and let him loose?
Honestly, most of the time it's not even thinking that. I guess it happened a couple times during the game, but it was mainly to it was not like we are planning that he is just going to save us and bail us out. It's more of we're setting up to the side of the field, or we're setting up trying to gain efficient yards, not just 2 yards, like efficient yards, to actually get to the point where he can make a play 5-yard throw. And we have players, we have dudes who can create extra yards, get RAC way more than we ever had before. So, it's accumulation of everything. It is JT, but it's accumulation of everyone coming together.
When you look at the stats, like Matt was bringing up, the rushing totals aren't there, but it seemed like in the short yardage situations, when you need to get a first down and big play, you guys delivered.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
It's a kill or be killed mentality. So that's how I live my life, and that's how this whole team lives their life on SYGL. So we do the meeting. We always play Stone Cold Steve Austin every time we install it. So gets the mood going. And anytime we line up, we know that they have not practiced. They did not do a whole practice just for that scenario. And we know that anyone that lines up, we're going to beat them.
Okay, then kind of like what I asked Coach, though, you're playing a team that got beat by like 68 points. You're still taking them serious, right?
Yes, sir, for sure. Sunday we had a brunch with the O-line and JT, and we just we talked about the game for a little bit, and then we were immediately just talking about the next week. Monday, we were already watching film. We were already getting our prep, and I don't think I thought about the game until just now, like till this press conference. So.
How easy is it to block for JT?
It's very fun. He's easy. It's easy in the sense of he gets us to the right place of who's coming. So whoever we point, or whoever he points, or whoever he wants to sees is coming, it's like we're confident those are the 5 guys coming. If it's 6, then we know the back's going to be there. If those 5 guys are coming and he's pointing the guy, we know that guy's coming. If he doesn't come, it's 5 for 4, and no one should ever get to touch him if it's 5 on 4. So it's pretty easy in the sense of he gets us on the same page. Thank you.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right, Sean, do you feel like a different player than you were at this point last year?
Oh, for sure. It's how I feel, how I play, how I carry myself around this building, how I carry myself with my teammates, the leadership role that I have. Of course, I walk around and, the confidence is there. The leadership role within my teammates that my teammates put me in is there. And I'm just playing different. My coach, I have a different coach, like Coach Bloom said. Coach Mockins is great, probably the best coach I've ever had, seriously. And just him, giving all his his energy and his advice and his coaching. It's just flowing through me.
Yeah, coaches have talked about your commitment, your effort you put into getting better. But when it comes to, details of your game, what's the, the biggest improvement you've seen on the field from how you play the game?
I think just playing with more confidence and discipline, really. Discipline was a big one. Just staying true to my technique and trusting in my technique and my preparation that I've been putting in this whole summer, this last spring and this fall. Just trusting that and falling back on my technique every single play, staying disciplined and finishing. I think finishing is a big part as well.
What's up, Sean?
How you doing?
Saw no difference in your coverage between Texas and University of Houston. Talk about that, because they have, I can't say they have similar receivers, but, Texas, obviously, they are who they are. U of H, they are who they are. Kind of talk about that.
Of course. I mean, Texas has, I want to say, the best receivers in the nation, and U of H receivers were great as well. They had some dudes, Matthew Golden and the other guy. They were pretty good. And just to talk about my coverage between those two games, I think in the first game I was just, working the gears a little bit, getting back to me. I think I needed to settle down and get back to me and know who I am and play with that supreme confidence, as Mawkins always tells us, corners. And just the change between this game, I think I really settled down this game, and I think I played with that supreme confidence that I know I can play with. And I would say I had a decent game in between these two games. I think I can do way better, and I think I will put that on display these next games coming up.
Sean, Will Kunkel with Fox. Nice to meet you. Have you noticed a difference around campus about, whether it be the student body, the fans, whatever it might be, walking around since the win?
Man, so it hasn't been too long yet, but I can definitely tell from the game there was a whole new vibe, a whole new experience. Like, just when I even talked to the new freshmen coming in at a pep rally some weeks ago, it's just the student body is more into what we have going on now. The student section, like Coach Bloom was rocking. I mean, it felt like a real game environment. So just from then to now, I feel like the campus and the student body and even the professors, I've had some professors email me and stuff like that I've been in class with, and it's great. It's great to see in here. I think everybody's riding with us.
Can you walk us through that final play, what you kind of saw on the field and what the aftermath was like?
It was ecstatic. It was amazing. Like Coach Bloom said, JoJo had that same exact play get completed on him some previous plays before. And for him to just, like I just mentioned, stay true to his technique, stay disciplined, and for him to come up with that pass deflection at the end of the game was crazy. I was so excited for him. He's a great player. He's been putting in so much work this season, this offseason, and for it to just show out there on the field like that in a critical situation like that, it was amazing. And the fans rushing the field and everybody just rushing the field, it was pretty great.
Have you ever seen that many people on that field at one time?
I have not. Like I said, this is a crucial game. We got the bucket back. I think that was the best time to do it. I know we didn't want a close game like that, but it was amazing.
What do you know about TSU quarterback Andrew Body? I know he's a pretty explosive guy and everything. What are your impressions of him?
I actually know him a little bit, but Andrew, I think he's a pretty good player. Definitely electric. He can run the ball. He can sling it, and I just think he's going to come out here and play hard, like Coach Bloom said. I think that whole team is going to come to Rice Stadium, play hard. So we're going to put on our best show, put on our best performance. And we're going to go out there and get the job done. But I think he's an excellent player.
You've faced two pretty elite offensive units in these first two games with UT and U of H. What is the performance of the defense with those two against those two teams tell you about where you're at this point and where you can get better still?
So as Coach Bloom mentioned, I think there's still so much room for improvement for our defense. We carry ourselves with the expectations to go out there and dominate. We feel as though we believe that we are the best defense Rice has ever had. We believe that we're the best defense in the nation, in the country. So we're going to go out there today and practice and the rest of the week, and we're going to prepare the same, or if not better. Like Coach Bloom said, we're going to have a better Tuesday practice than last week and the week before that. And I think the sky's the limit, so we're going to keep putting on display how great we can be because that's what we believe, and that's the expectation.
You talked about the student body here and that a lot of people, student body as well as some instructors. If you had a message that you could deliver to them, what would you say?
I think I would say first of all, I really appreciate the support, but I think I would say just keep riding for us. We're going to keep riding for you guys. I can't say enough how much we appreciated everyone coming out, and we're just stay behind us, and we're going to keep putting on the best performances we can and the best show we can, and just stay behind us, and we'll be successful this season. Sir, thank you.